Hi, I'm Shaun Arhelger, and I'm just starting my junior year at Palisade High School. I'll be giving this speech on the side of the proposition. Thank you for your consideration. Inaction in the face of injustice is an injustice. When it comes to the Obama administration's use of smart power, all we see is good intentions without actually solving for foreign problems. These policies have created much more harm than they have good. In this speech, I'm going to explain how the two main ideas from side opposition haven't shown more good than harm, and then I will highlight strategic errors and summarize the round with two key questions. But first, this motion can be broken down into two main issues for the opposition side. Firstly, smart power has allowed for involvement while avoiding harmful confrontation. And secondly, the positive trade influence from the Obama administration. The first issue with the motion was supported by them in a few ways. They talked about the avoidance of conflict in Syria while still having an impact in some places through the use of drones or other methods, using the killing of Osama bin Laden as an example. We gave a few reasons against this. Firstly, it doesn't solve for the harms of the past. It also doesn't solve for thousands of deaths because of the lack of a US stance. Smart power has only led to jobs half done and doesn't promote long-term stability. The second issue from the opposition is that the Obama administration actually had good ideas when it came to foreign trade policies. We on Proposition had a few responses. Firstly, the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement isn't quite what we would call a good idea, for a lot of the clauses behind it. Secondly, we agree that Obama has made some good decisions with trade. Reaching out to Latin American countries or Asiatic countries is a good decision. It's just poor implementation occasionally. Even if we give team opposition the benefit of the doubt and say it is always implemented in the best scenario, it just isn't as important as regional stability. Some positive trade deals simply aren't going to offset the harms created by the Obama administration's foreign policy. Now, some questions that should be on your mind. Why has soft power caused so much harm? Simply, it used its powers inappropriately for the situation, and we give a few examples of this. Firstly, in Syria. In exchange for the US not being militarily involved, Syria wouldn't use chemical weapons. As we explained, Obama actually canceled planned military action with other countries supporting us, when full military action would have stopped the use of chemical weapons, plus saving thousands of lives. No good was created in Syria, only harm. Opposition tries to claim that Obama chose the safest route, but threats of dangerous weapons have never stopped military action from the US before. Under the lens of smart power, the Obama administration did not effectively help the Ukraine crisis. The sanctions didn't even impact Russia that much, and even if you believe opposition in saying that the sanctions were impactful, it still doesn't matter because the United States did not take into consideration the improvement and stabilization of the situation in eastern Ukraine. Now, secondly, how has the Obama administration failed to deliver on much of the good it promised? As we explained, it fails in three main areas. Firstly, in Iran. Obama attempted to better the relationship with Iran, but ended up only harming the country when his administration expanded already harmful sanctions. Opposition tries to talk about how these were recently lifted. However, this was because of pressure from other world powers to lift it, not from the Obama administration, which only made the sanctions much worse. Next, Libya. After seeing citizens killed in public demonstration, all the Obama administration did was authorize missile use to enforce the no-fly zone and along with some sanctions. And no further action for these deaths were taken. More so, after 18 other states toppled the regime in Libya, Obama even admitted he hadn't planned ahead enough. They embraced the regime change, but they didn't plan for it, and didn't support it, causing the intervention within Libya to be a failure. Finally, with ISIL. As we explained previously, the Obama administration's lax policies and preference to let smaller countries be involved with their own problems created a perfect environment for ISIL to form. And this is now a group with enough power to go to war with much smaller nations. Thousands of deaths by ISIL and regional instability all stem from the actions of the Obama administration. It's because throughout this round, Proposition has effectively demonstrated the harmful impacts of the Obama administration's foreign policy, and that opposition has never demonstrated the positive impacts being more important than thousands of lives, regional stability, or an entire regime collapse, that I am proud to propose this motion.